Howdy, everyone. My name is Timothy Thomas, and with me is my colleague and one of my best friends, Alex Vallejo. We're incredibly excited to be here. We both go to Texas A&M University. We're both industrial and systems engineering majors, and we're so excited to talk about the sustainable solutions for plastic waste management within the Philippines. We're Team Aggie, as we're Aggies, and we're really proud of it, and we're just incredibly excited to be here. So as we talked about, we plan to talk about sustainable solutions, but in order for us to talk about solutions, we need to understand the basis of the problem. What is the problem? So we see two significant problems within the Philippines. We see ocean plastic pollution, as well as gender and age barriers within the Philippines. So with ocean plastic pollution, it's been a global crisis for a long time now. But with the Philippines, it's detrimental to their environment. It's been detrimental for climate change. It's been detrimental for their economics and also even their diet restriction. There's been so many causes, but the one huge cause is global warming and climate change. And as we see with the metric table below, the Philippines have had the highest overall natural hazard score in the EAP region. And this is a result of the CO2 being released into the atmosphere with these ocean plastic pollution covering these coral reefs within the ocean, which regulate the CO2 that goes into the atmosphere, which causes global warming and climate change and etc. We also have gender and age barriers within the Philippines. And what's unique is the fact is that the Philippines, according to a few surveys and indexes, are actually ranked 17th for closing the gender gap at 78.3%. However, what's striking is the fact that in their labor force, men dominate the labor force, with them being 76% of the total labor force and economy. And there's a variety of different reasons, including norms, social norms, as well as children, as well as just even education. However, we see that there is opportunity and growth in this area, as well as ocean plastic pollution. So what is the solution that we can implement that will target and cater to both of these significant problems? Well, our solution is we plan to promote public education and awareness about the impacts of plastic pollution to the Filipino society. It's incredibly important for them to understand why is plastic pollution consistently affecting them and affecting their climate change. We also want to provide training and support for women and youth in plastic waste collection, management, recycling, and upcycling, as well as we want to provide training and support for entrepreneurial things, such as business creation, LLC creation, even job creation, and finding ways that they can actually develop these things with ocean plastic pollution. We also want to encourage private sector investment in the development of innovative recycling and upcycling technologies. And with this, we'll increase our optimization and efficiency. And we also see that technology in the Philippines were considered outdated. So if we can find a way that we can increase the business uptake in the Philippines with innovative technologies, it provides a massive growth within the community. So we have a solution, but we need to understand, why are we positioned to be successful? So I'm going to hand it to Alex to talk about why we are positioned to be successful.
Thank you, Tim. So we believe that we're positioned to be successful because we strive to be incredibly community driven. So we want to push for that community involvement and strive for the potential to increase the ownership and buy-ins of the initiatives. And we want to create these female advocates in the Filipino community to rise up and lead trainings for individuals that wouldn't get it otherwise. We want to collaborate with government agencies and private sector companies in order to get access to these resources and support that are so very important. We also want to improve and provide innovative solutions. We want to implement state-of-the-art technology. And, Tim and I are industrial systems engineers, and we're programmed to always look for improvements in efficiency. And the implementation of technology in our program would greatly do this by helping to ease the workload and improve productivity among this group. So here are listed reasons why we can be successful, but it's also important to look at why or how we're going to be involved and community driven with our initiative. So we're going to collaborate with stakeholders, as I mentioned before. We want to ensure that the program is aligned with their goals and objectives. And we also, like as I mentioned, leverage those resources and expertise to develop clients into strong business leaders. We want to remain flexible and adaptive in our approach and regularly assess and evaluate the program to identify areas for improvement and make necessary adjustments. We want to focus on the empowerment and capacity building side by providing these trainings and support to build their skills and capacities in addressing this ocean plastic pollution problem. We want to find ways to increase economic gain, as well as provide confidence and motivation for Filipino women and youth to build businesses on their own. So to go into detail about the roles and our partners and how they can potentially play roles in this situation, I'll hand it over to Tim.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alex. So we wanted to develop a relationship with partnerships that actually had the same overall goal and overall mission statements as we did as an initiative and institution. So these partnerships exemplify and understand the importance of empowering women in society, women and youth in society, as well as the importance of ocean plastic pollution reduction. So the partnerships that we have here, we have USAID's CCBO, the Clean Cities and Blue Ocean, which is a significant foundation that has actually affected many economies, many environments. We also have the AEPW, which is the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. And we see both of these initiatives as a way and a means for us to find skills training as well as investment into technological innovation. We also have the Plastic Bank, the Plastic Flamingo, the Blast Project, and these are local initiatives within the Philippines that are already immersed within the culture. They understand what makes the Filipino women and youth tick. How do they work? How do they react to certain trainings and protocols? And we would love to implement those findings and those data into our initiative so that we can be successful in the future. We also have technological companies such as IBM and Ichthyon, and we want to partner with them so they can have a potential to provide innovative technologies that can help with plastic extraction from the ocean, as well as they can also provide an innovative direction for data analysis for ocean plastic pollution with the use of artificial intelligence. We also have Morgan Stanley and PepsiCo, and these are huge institutions that can help us with financing technology purchases, as well as they're investors who can provide insight with global initiatives they've already implemented, such as PepsiCo with PepsiCo Positive and PepsiCo Food for Good, which are just initiatives that are focused around the environment and the community. So we talked about our partnerships. Now we need to talk about just our month-to-month solution. How do we plan to do it within a year basis? So month one, as we talked about, we plan to have these stakeholder meetings, figure out what stakeholders we want to implement and work with. And we also just how we want to implement our project and figure out that plan. We also, from month 2 to 3, we want to find the secure funding from these potential investors. We want to identify more potential private sector partnerships such as IBM and Ichthyon and PepsiCo. We also have month 4 and month 5, and in those months we begin to engage with local communities, as well as begin to implement the safety and skills trainings, as well as the entrepreneurial trainings. And then month 6 through 7, we want to launch the recycling and upcycling programs, and we want to begin deploying plastic extraction technological solutions. We also have in month 8 through 9, we want to monitor and evaluate the progress of training programs. And we'll talk about how we'll develop those metrics and what we will use. But we also want to continuously engage with local communities. And then from month 10 through 12, we plan to launch community-based initiatives to increase participation. We're going to organize a workshop to share best practices and lessons learned by key stakeholders and partners, as well as we're going to conduct a final evaluation of the business plan and develop a sustainability plan so that this project and this plan may be sustained when we're not there, and even when we are there, so that the future is set in stone with our initiative for ocean plastic pollution reduction and with the initiatives for Filipino women and youth. So with that, we have a month-to-month basis understanding of what we want to do and what we plan to forecast. But we also wanted to forecast what our budget should be. So I'm going to give it to Alex to talk about our budget.
Thank you. So We just wanted to visualize this budget, and we did that by creating different categories and subcategories of things we may potentially need through our program. So first we have startup costs. This is consisted of office space and equipment rental, legal and consulting fees, and advertising costs. Next, we have employee salaries and benefits, office manager, trainer, and administrative staff. Finally, we would need the funds and things that go into the actual training and support for women and youth. And this would consist of training materials and equipment, stipends and incentives for individuals, and public awareness campaign expenses. Finally, capital expenditures, investments into innovative technologies, as well as our partnering with these very important partners that would help us greatly. It's very important to also understand how to monitor how effective and efficient our initiative will be. So there needs to be a sort of system to evaluate within the program. This would look like participant feedback. We would conduct surveys and assessments. If the training was appropriate and if it was the correct difficulty, too hard, too easy, skill development and implementation of skills assessments. This can be done before or after the program. And we would need to consult with our resources such as CCBO and AEPW to help us develop skills and assessments that are deemed adequate. We also want to monitor business development. So we want to find the number of businesses started, the number of jobs created, sales generated, and we also want to put a number on the plastic waste reduction itself. So we could potentially partner with IBM and use artificial intelligence that can help us with analysis and metrics, such as the amount of plastic waste collected, recycled, and the reduction in single-use plastic consumption. As we see, these are clear metrics that can help us understand how effective our program can really be. And now I'll hand it over to Tim for some closing remarks.
Thank you so much for attending our session. We really do appreciate the time and effort, and we really do appreciate this opportunity to talk about the importance of empowering women and youth within the Filipino community, as well as understanding the importance of ocean plastic pollution reduction. Thank you guys so much, and we're incredibly excited to hear from you soon. Goodbye, and hope you all have a great day. Thank you.